Hi everyone, this is AlphaAli. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing okay. So today I'm doing another VOD review. This is actually for HiSisters. This is HiSisters' second VOD. I remember the first one actually because I was literally just editing this today before this submitted the second one. And it was all about basically being a bit more proactive as Mercy and kind of preempting what's going to happen before it actually happens, so you are basically like able to be in the team fights a little bit more. So we're going to see whether they've improved upon that, as well as any kind of things that we can talk about in this kind of match. They have given me a little note basically saying I have this another loss where I make a lot of mistakes because I make a lot of mistakes, but I won't really make a good VOD, and I'm masters again. Okay, awesome. So the way that when they said that obviously losses make a good VOD, it is actually true. Like if someone comes to me with like either a really hard fought win or a loss, it usually gives me a lot more to talk about with how you guys played. It's really hard to kind of commentate on something that's like a steamroll from either end and stuff. So I always really like it when we get kind of like a loss. I feel as though it's a lot more interesting as well to watch a loss. It is another Masters game, so we have ourselves another very high rank Mercy. Got the cute little imp skin on along with the little bee. I just think they're so cute. And yeah, so I guess we'll just get straight into the VOD. Now, I'm actually just going to say something really quick before we come out. I would not run Mercy in this comp. Okay, I'm gonna be very honest. Like, if you only play Mercy, then by all means go ahead, because obviously there are still things you can damage boost and stuff like that. But if I was personally going to play with this comp, I would not play Mercy. The reasoning is because you don't really have anyone to properly go and like main blue beam. Like, sure, you can damage boost the Junkrat spam, you can damage boost some of the May icicles, damage boost Moira, damage boost like Diva when she dives in and stuff like that. But it's gonna make your life so difficult at this very moment in time to try and damage boost anything. So it would actually be so much better if you went something else for this beginning bit. But obviously if you're more comfortable on the Mercy, then obviously play the Mercy. This much better DPS. Okay, no worries. That's alright. But we'll see how you actually do with this very like suboptimal comp. So we're damage boosting Junk straight out of the bat, which is fine. We're in nice positioning. What you can do is, with this kind of team comp, is when you're Junkrat, because Junkrat normally does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spam, and then we'll go to reload. At that point, you can go and damage boost the May. But probably not really great so far. Oh, they have Sombra. That's how you've rotated it, obviously, like away. My only thing as well is when the Sombra's shooting you, you can try and like crouch spam like a little bit more, just so it makes it yourself like a little bit more like harder to hit. But I like how you've rotated. Instead of rotating back, we don't really want to rotate backwards because the reason is because you know this Sombra is here. So it would actually just be better if you just kind of kept this space and maybe just played a little bit back here. That if you hear like her like hack you again, you could just GA into like one of these rooms instead. Just so you basically end up staying pushed up with your team, but also at the same time you're not you're not gonna get rehacked by the Sombra that's still behind you guys. Be able to kind of challenge her a little bit with your pistol, back it out, which is fine. And yeah, you just avoid to get picked off because you're currently trying to, You're trying to basically contest the Sombra. So whenever I see a Sombra, like know whereabouts the Sombra is, I essentially just want to either try and get my GA off before she can hack me and get out of the way. Or if I do end up getting caught out, just kind of like crouch spam for a second and then find a way just to get out of her LOS and like away. Just like, nah, I'm going, see you later. So yeah, probably doing anything good either there. Nice. And I'd res. Very nice. That was a lot better played, that one. So going to go to help your Junkrat because obviously he's the one that's pushed up. Very nice. Like this. Love how you rotated around to this window. Really great. Love the damage boost onto your Junk. Obviously help healing him up. Step out the corner for a sec, which is completely fine. Love how you're just staying in here and you're not like following him or anything. Can't really do it with your Junk there, which is absolutely fine, but you could definitely go in a res in a second. Very nice. Okay. Only thing with this res, because I was hoping you just like would res on the inside. We actually end up rotating outside. The only reason why I'm a little bit annoyed about this is purely because just in case if they had a respawner or something come in and touch, you're a lot more vulnerable being on this side. So just try and like go onto the side. But overall, really good push so far. And your positioning, apart from obviously right at the beginning with the Sombra, has been really good. Love how you pinged your res as well, saying that you want to res. Really great. Okay, so you end up reaching the checkpoint. Obviously, you expect Junkrat to come up. Diva goes for bomb, that is fine. Honestly, like, if your Junkrat does not make it up here, you just don't want to be stood here because this is very much proven why. Because what's going to happen is people are going to be coming back from spawn and you just don't want... Because at the moment, if you're going to be stood here, you're going to be frontlining. So if your Junkrat, like, for example, he fails this jump, just stay down on the point and just, like, obviously, I know the point's not, like, moving right now, but you're still going to be safer. Wait till Junkrat actually, like, properly finishes off doing his, like, jump up. You don't really need to be with, like, up, like, on here, if you get me, because obviously, you know, D.Va's just thrown a bomb. Mori should be fine because she'll have a fade and be able, like, to fade back to the team if needed, and Mei's just currently just pushing the point for you. So what you can actually do here is you could just, like, use your angelic descent and just come down instead of, like, hopping up. Which is exactly what I think you're going to do right now. Obviously, end up getting pulled. Really nice keeping your beam on. Really nice movement. Mori's ended up using her ultimates. You're very, what's it called? Tunnel vision onto this Moira, which I'm hoping isn't going to get your Junkrat killed. So let me just quickly like, back it out because I wanted to talk about your kind of beam priority at this point. Because it could have been a tiny little bit better. The reason why I'm being so like, harsh with you, by the way, is because you are like, you know, you're masters right now. And I want you to kind of rectify these like tiny little mistakes, because it's these tiny little mistakes that can actually like cost you a match sometimes. Right. So you're pushing in here. You realize that you cannot see your Moira. It's only going to be your Junkrat. So you just want to damage your Junkrat in here, right? Literally at this point, still keep your beam on Junk. Keep your beam on Junk because you realize like you super jump yourself up to try and like get to this Moira, and you realize, oh, I can't get to this Moira. Just keep your beam on the Junk. Like, because he's the one that's going to do your damage up until you can get in LOS of this Moira. You also have to realize as well, like, this Junkrat isn't just randomly spamming out in the open. This Junkrat's actually aiming at someone, for once, it feels like. Because normally what happens is Junkrats will just, like, randomly spam corridors and it might hit someone kind of thing. Whereas this one, he's actually got someone to aim at. He will actually do more damage with the damage boost here rather than your Moira. The other reason why you want to damage boost your Moira here is if you have, like, someone that's a little bit smaller, say, like, or, like, harder to hit. Normally, it's a lot easier to just damage boost the Moira, just, you know, for, like, tracking reasons and stuff like that. But right now, like, your Junkrat can very easily just help with this, what's it called, Ramatra. So I literally just kind of keep the blue beam on him. Obviously, end up kind of rotating round. Moira ends up finishing. Nice damage boost. I love how you just back out here. Nice waiting to heal as well. Obviously, telling people to group up, which is fine. It's fine that you're holding here. Really nice rotation, just super safe enough. Really nice holding where you are. Lovely. Lovely damage boost as well. Cannot fault you on that. Really, really great so far. I love where you're positioned right now, using your crouch as well, just to use these stairs and stuff. What we just have to be careful of here is that we know that Sombra's going to be coming with EMP. And one of the best ways you can survive an EMP is just A, play out of it, but also B, like, pop Valk. We have our Valk ready, so it's just kind of something you just need to kind of keep in your mind. But really, really great. Love how you're positioned right now. Oh, okay. I want to talk about this because I feel like your beam priority is a tiny little bit off here. All right. So this is great. Obviously, just staying here with like all the spam and everything, holding down your crouch on the stairs. Really, really great. Really, really like this. This is fine for you to do, right? I don't think you need to like do this like kind of like actually you do this with the GA in, but I would have maybe just wrapped myself around this side of the pillar rather than this side. But that's me just being really, really pernickety with like your stuff, right? Okay, what happens here is you like look back to your Mei, but you end up like disconnecting your beams at the same time, right? Just remember, you need to like, my kind of best thing to say as Mercy is you always need to have your beam on someone, I feel like. Unless if obviously you've got the Glock out and stuff like that. It's always great to have your beam on someone. And at this point, you still want to have it onto your Junkrat, okay? So just so you can still keep on either that damage beam or your healing beam while you look back on your Mei. Now, what should actually be happening here is your Mei should actually just be pushing this point. She's actually being a bit aggressive and kind of peeking forward here. She should literally just be on this point. And she is completely fine because, you know, like she will normally like call out, or you can like hear when obviously the Sombra kind of like comes out and stuff like that, and she will attack the Mei. But remember, Mei has a lot of sustainability against Sombra. Like, she can use her ice block, she can use like once obviously the hack's like finished, she can use like her ice block and her wall and stuff like that. So she's not like a massive priority to be able to go and help. Your main priority at the moment is this Junkrat. Right, and then I just want to talk about this kind of beam priority, because obviously the EMP goes off, really nice that you're in your cover and everything. We switch beams to be with the Moira when we do not need to, okay? We should have actually just kept our beam on the Junkrat. Now, I don't know whether this would have kept the Junkrat up or not, you know, because obviously with the extra damage the hack does with Sombra and everything like that, but it would have been better if we stayed on the Junkrat. The reasoning is because you have a massive, massive tank here of D.Va. D.Va can very much just help this Moira and DM her like this, okay? Also, what's happened is none of her team are here to follow up on this EMP. Like, it's literally Sombra's just used her EMP way too early for, like, the team, basically. So she just uses it. And then she's just gonna look to try and see, okay, what can I do to kind of, like, make use of this? Shoot the Junkrat. So all you want to do here is you should just be playing on this side and just be kind of flicking between these two. You just keep your beam on your Junkrat. Moira fades away. Moira's got all the help in the world with the, with what's called with the diva. She'll also have like her Warbson coming up soon as well. So you can literally just stay here and just help this Junkrat, okay? But we'll keep on going. I want to see what you do actually. Very nice res. I would have not GA'd though. You can literally just do this res by just hugging this wall like this. Because, like, what's going to happen is your diva and your Moira are going to, like, push forward, you know, to try and, like, obviously kill all the staggers and everything like that because they don't have a tank. So you can essentially just kind of just come around here and just res this, what's it called? Res this wall. So it's been really good for me off because I didn't know where to play since Sombra and she's everywhere. I mean, so looking at your team, she is most likely going to hack you compared to the rest of your team, because obviously with Moira she can like quickly press fade. May obviously has a lot of like counters and stuff like that. She could like hack the diva whenever like the diva like makes a mistake or like overextends and stuff like that, which she wants to get out with her boosters. She could also attack like Junkrat, but basically the main priority is going to be you. Now, what you essentially just need to do is whenever you're playing against a Sombra, just try to kind of keep your GA like available as much as you can and try to play your cover as much as possible. Play your wood like a Sombra, like you would with like a hit scan or something like that. The reason is because like say the Sombra like comes behind you and hacks you like this, like and you're like stood here, you could just move like here and just block LOS of her. And then what will normally happen is like people will normally like peel for you, or like you could tell your team like, hey, there's a Sombra here kind of thing. And then if nobody ends up getting her, or like she'll have to move basically to try and shoot you. It'll allow you to keep up that GA time and then allow you just to maybe like GA over here and then make your distance away from her, you know. Force her to essentially like really work to try and get that kill on you. So that's like how I'd basically like try and play it with this Sombra. Seems like a really good Sombra though, to be fair. Anyways, you've done the absolute right thing of just resin, just try and hug that wall a little bit more when you do so. Heal it up diva. Really nice. That's fine, you're playing here. GAing across when you're available to, which is really nice. Obviously healing up because we don't have anyone. You can hear her now, can't you? Was that... Dude, that was really... Yeah, I was just about to say, you can hear her. I don't know whether that's because obviously it's in like this this mode or anything, but you could definitely hear like the footsteps and stuff like that. But it's the same thing again, you could just like come and just like play around here and then go for a GA back and stuff like that. You essentially just have to play with a Sombra. It's like you have to play like one step ahead of like where the Sombra would be. But let's see what ends up happening. So we heal up Jung. He's playing behind the point. Nice damage boost onto the Mei. You end up getting in, so it's completely fine because they're using a lot of ults. That is absolutely fine. You've done the absolute correct thing there of just dying. Dude, they use so many ults there. They use what? They use Window, EMP, obviously used EMP earlier, and Annihilation when the fight was already lost. That's a win in your team's eyes. Obviously, you end up using, what's it called? Junkrat Tire, which isn't the best. But hey, you've done the absolute right thing of just going for a reset here. Like, if you have an Annihilation full health from archers walking onto you, like, you are not going to survive that. You did the absolute right thing of just allowing yourself to die. Really, really great. Alright, but we'll keep going. So we're going to respawn, which is completely fine. Really nice. Gonna go help your Junkrat, which is completely fine. As soon as you've helped that Junkrat, though, you have to essentially just go straight back into this team fight. Because, like, you essentially just want to kind of get your Junkrat up to full HP basically, because obviously you have the Sombra and you don't want him to get, you know, caught out with the Sombra. But as soon as he's like that full HP, you want to get back into that team fight and push that damage boost. So make sure you're just going straight in with this Mei as soon as you can, okay? I play Sombra a lot, but I don't like those like good Sombras, so I don't know if there's anything I don't know everything about what they could do. I mean, yeah, I 100% like understand you. I am the same because I don't really play, what's it called? I don't really play Sombra at all. The only reason why I know how, like, Sombra plays a lot now is because I know a lot of people that play Sombra. And I also know kind of, like, with experience. Because it's been, like Sombra is just, especially in, like, Season 4, Season 5, Sombra was just so strong. And it just made, like, my life, like, so, like, horrendous. Like, playing Mercy, basically. You essentially just need to, like, just play your cover as much as you can. A little bit more. And just hook like hug those walls and everything. Nice res. My only issue with all this, right, because I just want to quickly rewind it, because I think this all kind of comes from you not getting back to the Mei quick enough. Obviously, I'm not saying this will, like, you know, help your Mei or anything. So you heal the junk. This is when you should have GA'd, because as soon as it's like full HP, you just go in for the Mei, right? Obviously, Mei ends up dying. That is absolutely fine. Okay, as soon as you see the Sombra, like, think of Sombra as like, how do I put it? Think of Sombra, if anyone knows about like the Greek mythological like gods, and like it's called like Medusa or something, the one with all like the snakes and used to like turn people to stone as soon as they stole them. You essentially just want to play Sombra like that. Like you essentially like as soon as you see her, you're like bam, like I want to get out of LOS and stuff like that. So what you should be doing here, I know obviously this Ramotch is, I don't even know what this Ramotch is doing, but you know, let him do his little vibe, okay? As soon as you see him, you very much kind of hang about here, and the Sombra just ignores you for some reason. Like she hacks you, and then just ignores you, right? What should actually happen here is you should be hacked, and then bam, 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 like you're dead kind of thing, alright? So what I would be doing here is instead, like, as soon as you get hacked, just work your way around this corner. Because once you're behind this corner, once you're behind this cover, just give yourself a second. And then you can, like, GA and, like, help your Junkrat. Or you can, you know, try and get yourself back into the team fight, alright? I would not be going for a res here onto your Mei. The only reason why I would res Mei here is if she had ultimate, but she doesn't because she's just used it, okay? You essentially now just want to help your Junkrat survive this Ramattra, right? Because what's going to happen... you essentially, you have your Moira pushed up with the Coalesce and stuff here. These guys are just being, like, really, really aggressive, basically. So you can essentially just, like, play back here and help your Junkrat. Because what ends up happening, although you do this lovely, nice super jump res, do not get me wrong, really, really nice, you end up sacrificing your Junkrat because of it, alright? You essentially just have to think to yourself, I want to try and keep everyone as like, healthy as I can. What you can do is you could damage this Junkrat earlier, force the Ramattra to, like, push backwards. And as soon as he's, like, too weak and he's pushed back, you then can go for this res, okay? So just try to kind of, like, work around that priority a little bit more where you go and help the Junkrat before you go and res. But that's fine. Saying they're getting hacked. Really nice damage boost on Mei again. We end up messing up the GA, which is a little bit unfortunate, but that's fine. Nice use of cover again. Cannot use your fault, like, cannot, you know, fault your your cover. The other thing is I would push forward with your D.Va here. You could push forward with D.Va and just play this cover here. The reason is because your Mei is just gonna just gonna stand here with the icicles and just shoot main. But like what people are gonna do is they're gonna start backing off and like over to here. If you literally just GA'd and cancelled and just carried on pushing up with your D.Va, you can then just kind of like hug this wall. If someone comes and hacks you, you just stand here for a sec, wait for it to like the hack to finish, and then like go and just GA yourself back around here if needed. But you just want to like try and provide as much damage boost as possible as you can with the team comp that you've got, because unfortunately you don't really have a really good main blue beam target into your like team comp, so you should just be trying to push that damage boost as much as possible like throughout the entirety. And the best way you would do this is pushing up with your D.Va at this very moment in time. Just try and like, you know, get an extra pick off. You've ended up doing it now, which is really, really great, but it's just a tad too late. Nice heals though, we'll not, you know, we'll not lie. We're on a soldier now as well, which is really, really great. So we have ourselves a main blue beam, which is nice. We got Moira back, which is absolutely fine. Trying to rotate with him. Lovely rotation. Just obviously try and like just look out for your team, and I would actually Valk here if I could. The reason just why I'm saying that you should Valk here is because you can basically like peer over this wall and just help your team out like this, and then you can also kind of drop back down and also damage boost your soldier basically. So you could just like kind of hop over, heal, back down, and like help damage boost and stuff like that, because you want to try and keep this momentum up, because your team has got some really good momentum with this with their push right now. So you just want to kind of go over like this basically with your Valk. But we'll keep going. It's really great that you still keep looking at your team. I love that. D.Va ends up dropping. We use Blizzard, which is nice. End up winning the team fight, which is really, really great. But I feel as though we could have stopped D.Va from being D-Mex if we just used our if we end up using our our Valk. I just want to quickly go back because I want to quickly talk about something else in a sec. So this is fine. You obviously playing up to the side and everything. This is really, really great. Obviously the really nice like kind of hop to get over to the wall to go and help. Obviously healing D.Va. This is really, really great. You need to okay. He ends up obviously your your soldier ends up falling, which is completely fine with you kind of deciding to go over to go and like res. But you have to also realize the Sombra's still here. Sombra will basically try and make your life absolutely hell by just hacking you out of every single res. So when playing with Sombra, this might be like me being like really, really like passive how I play against Sombras. But unless I know the Sombra has translocated away, I will not res. And this is very much a scenario like this. You essentially want to stay pushed up with your team here. Either damage boost your Mei or help your D.Va try and get her Meg back as quick as you can. Because if you stay pushed up and keep this aggression, this will hopefully, you know, someone will attack the Sombra. Sombra will then translocate away back into like spawn and stuff like that. Then that gives you opportunity to res. You just want to kind of, it's unfortunately like a really hard thing to track as, but it's just, you essentially just have to, just make sure that Sombra does not have a translocator. Like, she's gone basically and out of the fight before you go for a res. I was gonna say you could have like helped the soldier, but he ends up just getting absolutely mauled down by the Zarya, which is just really, really unfortunate. So yeah. So what do we end up doing for that? We just end up just dying basically. But it's fine, we end up just resetting. But I realised you've held onto your Valk for a really, really long time. I would have just used Valk in that last team fight. But we'll keep going. What do we have coming? We have ourselves a Visor coming up, which is really, really great. And obviously we still have your Valk as well. So pushing forward, which is fine. We're nice to use the cover as well, just playing away from that Sombra. Really, really great. I love how you're looking down that corridor and just in case she's there. Really, like, really good so far. She's behind you. Perfect. That is literally what you should just do every single time. Just back off into cover. Like, oh, she's hacked me. Okay, I'll go into my cover. But you could have, like, and same thing as well. If she ends up coming from this side, back off into cover. This is exactly how you should just play for the entire map when you're playing against a Sombra. Really, really great so far. Like, backing off into that cover. Really, really nice. It doesn't matter as well if your beam kind of disconnects for a second, because the only person she's going to have like an advantage over killing is you because you're hacked. So even if you disconnect your beam for like 1 second away from your soldier, especially when he's like full HP like this, he ain't gonna die. So it's fine. Just like put your like value your life so much more than his in these kind of scenarios, especially when you get hacked and stuff like that. That's fine. So we know that she's there, so just push forward. You need to help your Zarya. I'd Valk. I'd Valk. Okay, the reason why I'd Valk here is you could just continue on this aggression. What's happened is your Mei is essentially just, your Mei has backed off to try and like, you know, deal with the Sombra. And your team is now starting to get like quite, your team is basically starting to get like quite weak and stuff like that. Use your Valk along with the, you know, the extra health that it has, but also the damage boost to allow you to have this advantage in this fight. Because what's ended up happening is, well, obviously not at this very much time because it's like a bit after when I said to Valk, but what's going to happen is your team is going to be in a 4v4 because the Sombra is with the Mei right now. So essentially you can just Valk and help try and provide your team with that extra advantage with, you know, the extra damage boost basically. Allow your team like to be more aggressive. Give yourself this, you know, you can still position yourself over here, like, you know, how you want to, but you can use that Valk to like pop out and just, you know, help balance the beams between obviously your Zarya, but also help damage boost whatever's going on around here. Because what ends up happening is you end up holding your Valk and everyone kind of gets, you know, everyone basically just ends up like falling over and stuff. So that's fine. We should just like look to die here or try and get out. And just die, yeah. You could have what's it called? You could have angled like before the Sombra got the hack off, you could jump over this barrier by the way to get yourself out. But it's probably just better that you just die here. But we're still holding on to our Valk. Like we need to use our Valk. Like I know like so many people say, oh, Valk is such a bad ultimate compared to the other support ultimates. Probably apart from actually because Tree is actually really good with like the overhealth and stuff now. Like, do not get me wrong, like Valk is still a good ultimate. Like I believe all the support ultimates are really broken. It just so happens that the other support ultimates are more broken than Mercy's, but that does not mean that Mercy's ult is still like it's not impactful whatsoever. Mercy's ult is definitely still impactful if you use it at the right times And I feel as though you've missed now kind of 2 opportunities where we could have used that Valk just to try and like keep ourselves alive, but also kind of, you know, allow our team to be aggressive, if you get what I mean. It's end up getting hacked. You should have, okay, in this scenario, you should have done exactly what you did that last time of just walking into this room. Also, remember, this room has like a mega as well, so even if like she gets a little bit of HP off you, just go into here, alright? I feel as though we kind of just, it feels like we're panicking right now and we're not realizing like where our cover is. So just remember, back off into that side cover just to play away and just play those walls and play that cover away from that Sombra, alright? That's fine. Everyone ends up getting grabbed. Kind of a waste of grab on their end, so it's absolutely fine. And it's all good. So we'll just wait for our team. But that's how you just obviously wait for your team here and spawn. You're doing the absolute right thing here. Really, really great. Mori just comes in and says right in front of you. Alright, so we have ourselves a Bastion. Bastion's, you know, obviously he's still going to be our main blue beam, so that's absolutely fine. Start pushing in with him. Nice. Really nice damage boost onto him. Really nice. Really nice. Really nice pushing forward with the Zarya. Just remember as well, you've still got this cast behind because, you know, we heard him from earlier. So as you're kind of like going forward, this is absolutely fine being aggressive with your team like this. You know, like letting your Bastion die. This is 100% the right thing that you should be doing, and you're doing this right because Bastion is so like out of the team fight compared to the rest of your team, and you want to try and like get these picks and basically, you know, get the rest of the team, and then your team can help you with the Sombra, help a Translocate, and then you can res. So you're doing the absolute correct thing here. All you have to be mindful of is this cast behind you, which I'm hoping you'll be wary of. So you need to help May, you need to help May. Okay, nice. I would have helped May out more rather than just going directly for the res. The reason is because if your team don't focus the Sombra first and focus the cast first, it basically means that Sombra's still going to be lurking about there and just quickly can hack you and then just like translocate away. I feel as though your priority is like a little bit mismatched here. You essentially should just basically go and help this May with the 1v1 first, and then go for this res. But we'll keep going. We're still holding on to this Valk. I'm really waiting to see when you're going to use this Valk. I hope it's going to be a really good one. Nice damage boost though. I believe that Moira would help May, that's why. I'll be fair enough. I mean, this is probably just me just being like really like what's called, really like conscious of like the Sombra again. But it's fine. Obviously nice cover. You want to pop your Valk. Yay! I'm gonna use Valk. But really too late. Okay? I want to show you guys when I would have used this Valk, okay? So, this is fine, pushing up with what's called with Bastion. This is all great. Obviously damage boost to him, that's fine. We've got to go damage boost Zarya, which is completely fine. As soon as you hear that EMP go off, Valk, because the EMP has not hit you, but you will know in your head the EMP has hit people. Or at least like it should have hit people. The majority of the time, a Sombra is going to hit someone with the EMP. Or unless they absolutely whiff it. But, you know, you're going to know that essentially there's going to be this EMP, right? As soon as you hear it, just Valk. Because then it will give you this really good, like, shot. And also because the enemy team are going to be, like, you know, helping, like, push in now, basically. Like, you know, coming to the point. You want to basically try and get rid of this Zarya as quick as possible. Because the BAP is, like, currently too focused on the, what's called, the Sombra and the Lifeweaver. I mean, I don't really know how good Lifeweaver is right now. I've not really played too much of this new season and stuff. But essentially what you want to do is you want to pop your Valk, play back a little bit more like here-ish. Then it gives you a really good perspective of the people that have got EMP, so you help them out first. And then you can go and damage boost these guys on the point. Because what ends up happening is you pop this way too late. Like, when you pop this, you end up letting your Moira die whilst you pop it. We should have helped our what's called our Bastion out first before going to res. And I believe this all kind of comes from you holding on to that Valk. That it feels like you've held on to that Valk like for so long. You should have used that at like the first time I told you to Valk. You would have been able to build up the second Valk and then use that a lot sooner. Alright, so HiSisters, alright. Our position is really, really great. Cannot fault you on positioning, really, really great. Beam management also really, really great. Knowing when to push up as well is really, really good. We just need to basically just try and play our cover a lot more whenever we're playing against the Sombras and stuff. Like just try and play like nearer cover, so it means if you do get hacked, you can like move around the corner basically. Another thing is Valk at the moment. I'm gonna see how you do on defense with Valk. But if not, I'm gonna be like, we need to work on our Valks a little bit. That's what's called all I've thought of so far. So pretty much have the same comp as last time, except we have ourselves a Ramatra, and also we have Junk instead of May, so absolutely fine. You can damage with Soldier here, and then obviously you can damage with Junkrat whenever there's people in corridors and stuff. I realised we switched to Devil as well. Devil is also such a cute skin. I technically prefer Devil over Imp, but it's everyone's personal opinions. Can't do anything for your Junk there. I don't know what he's doing down there. So that's absolutely fine. It's a nice damage boost. You can hear the Genji behind. I'm hoping you can hear the Genji behind. So you can see everyone else. Really nice. Oh, you're just playing your cover here. Helping your Ram, which is completely fine. I would literally just stay in this room. Like, unless you get pressured out of this room by, like, the Sombra or, like, by the Genji or something like that, you could just stay in here and literally just start jiggle peeking it. Like, doop, boop. You know, like this. Just try and like keep your beams on like this. There is absolutely no reason for you just to come out of this room unless if your team are starting to back off like down here, in which case you can just, you know, come out of like this side, or if you get pressured out by the Sombra or the Genji yourself, okay? So literally just play into this room, just so you don't take any of that extra damage. That's fine, your team end up kind of getting rolled over just because your Junkrat isn't there basically. So just like play that cover a little bit more. It'll help you survive a lot more basically. And will help either draw them away from your obviously your tank to try and like get to you, or it will like force them to what's it called, just to fully focus onto your tank and allows you to survive. So this is a Zarya now, which is completely fine. Love how you're staying up here. Okay, it's the same thing again with our cover, okay? Whenever you're playing with people on this high ground, I would rather, especially because you have the Zarya down here, you didn't have the Moira at the time, you want to kind of play here. The reason is because Sombra can either come behind you and hack you, in which case you could just GA and then just like hug this rock here, or she'll come from in front of you and hack you, in which case you just literally just cut her off for a second like this, and then she'll probably go and focus onto your Soldier. That way you can then basically go and like reattach your beams to him, okay? So once again, you just want to play that cover, because you flinging yourself out into this open bit like this puts you really vulnerable at this Orisa. If like, you know, if the Orisa is playing comms with the Sombra and it's like, hey, Mercy's won, she could just go and then you're just dead, you know. So you essentially want to play that cover a little bit more and try not to fling yourself out into the open. So good to go help your team, which is nice. And yeah, we just end up getting caught out with the ult. But we'll keep going. So yeah, just use that cover once again, because I feel as though it would have helped you just play out of the way of that Sombra once more. That's fine, we'll keep going. Obviously heading back. Love how you're like checking for as you come out, because I know obviously like they always like try to spawn camp. Lovely res, so obviously you know where you know where the Sombra is, so you go for the res. Really, really nice. That is like one of your best reses so far. Like knowing where she is and you just go in and res, really, really nice. Love how you're checking, also your Soldier's checking for you and stuff. Just once again, same thing. I would literally just play like down by those rocks again, just so you're playing like really out of the way. Nice. I would push up now a little bit more though. Nice. Really nice. Okay, let's just quickly rewatch, because I feel as though I've also become a little bit disorientated because you were like very much like whacking about all over the place. So this is fine. Obviously, you guys look like, you know, you guys like stood up here and everything like that. It would have been better if you like dropped down a little bit more sooner, but obviously, you know, you want to stay with him to protect him from the Sombra, which is like completely fine. But then as soon as he like pushes forward like this, you also push forward, which is really, really great. This is a lovely GA out into the cover, which is really nice. You help him, which is really, really nice. I feel as though this is the point where you get a little bit like, what's it called? A little bit disorientated. You're like, oh my gosh, like what do I do? Right? Literally just kind of like stay where you are. Try and get your beam onto your Sojourn, because what's going to happen is Sojourn's going to slide away. She'll do like a little jump upwards afterwards. So just put your camera up to like try and help her. And then put your beam back onto your soldier. Because obviously he's got visor and stuff and you want to like be prepared for that visor basically. We didn't really need to GA there. Obviously we're trying to like get to the soldier. And yours... What happens to your Zarya? Sorry, let me just quickly rewatch this so I can see what happens to your Zarya. I know this is because you're too busy being really focused, but you need to help the soldier there. So I don't know if this is just your Moira just not helping. So your GA, that's completely fine. I'm going to watch it in this view so I can see. So you're helping. This is completely your Moira's fault. I just wanted to rewatch it back just to see what happened, but yeah, no, this is completely your Moira's fault. Yeah. Your Moira's too busy DPSing. So this is completely not on you because you're doing your job of trying to appeal for your DPS that's also critical. So yeah, this is completely your Moira's fault. So don't be like hard on yourself if your what's it called, your thingy dies here. Nano Blade with the EMP, that's 3 ults gone. Honestly, you should be kind of happy with that because you didn't really use any ults. Obviously not be happy because, you know, your what's it called? Your Moira didn't heal your what's called your Zarya, but is what it is. Anyway, so we're pushing forward. Obviously we know they used a lot of ults and stuff, so that's completely fine. We should have the advantage in this next fight. We're gonna have to use the cover. I feel like every time we lost, they use like 2 ults. Honestly, it feels like it. Like, the majority of the times, yes. Okay, my only thing throughout this entire fight, I feel like you're too focused on trying to hear the Sombra, right? Try and use your hearing a little bit more to kind of listen for the Sombra. Because normally you can hear it like uncloak and also like the start of the hack like on the screen and stuff. So you could just basically pay full attention to your team. And if you start to see that hack stuff on your screen, literally just come and like GA down and around. Or like GA up to like here or something like that. Instead of just because at the moment, like, you're being really, like, you're being too cautious now with the Sombra. And you're not, what's it called, you're not paying attention to, like, what's happening with your team. Because your Moira is, once again, being way too DPS-y. So you have to basically kind of, like, realize this and think to yourself, okay, I have to be, like, the main kind of forefront of, like, heals for this team. And you'll have to, you know, heal your Zarya a little bit more. Because, yeah, I guess, like, your Zarya is going to, like, fall over. Nice res though behind the cart, which is really, really nice. Obviously, you're rotating background. Really nice rotation. Nice heals. Nice. So your team's obviously protected you and everything. Just try not to stand there for too long. Like, it's fine you stand there while you have the bubble on. Because especially if people, like, start to shoot you, it'll get your Zarya, like, charge and stuff. Once that bubble's gone, though, just try to back yourself away. Because what's happened is your Zarya's been really, really aggressive to try and, like, try and focus them out. So, yeah. We'll keep going. I would Valk. Okay, I would have Valked here. The reasoning is because, like, the Sombra, like, you know the Sombra is going to be behind you and stuff, and you've got yourself really, really weak. The team is also going to be pushing in, and you want to try and help these people down here, like your Sojourn, like your Moira, but at the same time also help these people up top, right? Same thing again, you could literally, like, what you could do, even when, like, you got the bubble on you, you can just GA, and then just kind of bring yourself to around here. Right, so then you can still help these people that are main. Your Moira's being very DPS-y, and honestly, like, I very much just leave her to do her thing, and you just stay very team centralized and just capitalize on that. Or so it's a DPS and defense, it looked like it. Yeah, so we now need to react to that and think to ourselves, okay, how are we going to play? You have to think to yourself, okay, my Moira's being aggressive, she's DPSing a lot, what can we do? Okay, we can then basically just go and we can focus our beams on these 3 people and just basically play with them. Because what's going to happen is the Moira's going to provide, like, a lot of a distraction for her team. We just essentially have to play very centralized and play, like, with them like this, basically. But we keep going. It happens a lot when you get, like, a lot of TikTok Moiras and stuff like that. Wild called TikTok Moiras and stuff, like very DPS-y, fade into the backline Moiras. If you get one of them onto your team, then obviously you want to what's it called. You want to try and just kind of be with your team a little bit more. Nice how you obviously you spy check though, and obviously you wait for your Sojourn. 100% the right thing to do. Go with her though. Like, don't be like really. Like, your best bet now is just to sit here and damage boost this Sojourn, because she will help, like, you know, gain her ult and stuff like this, you know. Well, I mean, she has her ult, but, like, in general, help gain her ult and stuff like that. And she can just, like, maybe get rid of this Zarya and stuff, okay? What's gonna happen is the Sombra is going to, like, probably, like, play in, like, near this health pack or something like that, and just kind of, like, go around and, like, try, like, hacking you from behind and stuff like that. So what you can literally do is you could just, like, obviously, like, hold main and stuff like this, or you could even play, what would be even better is play in here, and play, obviously, with, like, your soldier, but also peek like this, because then it really forces the Sombra to really come in and get you, right? So instead of just, like, spy checking like this, because you are going to do nothing spy checking this, like this. Like, it's fine you doing it out of spawn, don't get me wrong, but you doing it here is not going to do anything. So you literally want to, you just want to get your beam onto your Sojourn, and then just get around here, and you can also help your soldier here. Alright, but we'll keep going. Nice peel for the soldier. Obviously very high charge. And yeah, just end up falling over. But you see how we could have, like, maybe made that better if we just played in the room. Helps heal up our soldier while the Sojourn was fine, and then once he was, like, quite full HP, then you could help the Sojourn and stuff. So we're trying to get back as quick as we can. Nice damage boost. If they start pushing in again, you can Valk, but I don't think they are going to. No, so it's fine. Just keep hold of your Valk. I would damage boost, instead of damage boosting your Sojourn here, I would have dropped down to be with your soldier, because your soldier's currently focused in the Zen. So it's fine you damage boosting the Sojourn while your soldier's currently dropping and stuff, because she was focused on, like, someone, like, mainish. But as soon as that happens, then you want to put your beam on your soldier. Just try and help with that. Oh, because your soldier actually loses the 1v1, okay. Nice. It would have been, oh, nice that your team was looking. I was just about to say, you could ask for a bubble here, but it's nice that your Zarya is ready and already looking for that bubble. Really, really nice. So we got our, we basically have all the ults still, obviously apart from Coalescence and stuff. Obviously we heard more, okay. Once again, we're playing out in the open for the Sombra, and you're basically saying to the Sombra, hey, come and hack me, kind of thing. You can literally just kind of hug onto this, like, wallish here. If she hacks you, then you've got your soldier, and your soldier should realize this and just turn around and try and help you. You could also play, like, where this, like, mini is, basically, just to help you out. Because right now, where you're positioned is very much, like, saying, hey, can we get me to the Sombra, right? You just essentially want to, once again, play that cover as much as you can. That's fine. We kind of registered where she is, which is fine. Then you want to push up with the soldier. You don't want to get your Glock out here, because you also, like, still want to help out with your team. Like, you have to think to yourself, you're not going to kill the Sombra at all. Like, unless if, like, the Sombra absolutely, like, whiffs their aim or something like that, there is no kind of reason why you're going to win this 1v1. So you literally just keep your beam on someone, and make sure you're still helping main, because remember, your Moira kind of faded to be with you as well. So that should be sending, like, warning symbols into your head. You should be like, wait, but, like, who's gonna heal the main, you know, who's gonna heal my tank, who's, like, main and stuff like that. So what I would do here is just, like, literally play your cover as much as you can, like, play around here. You can see people through the walls about how they're doing, and try and, like, think to yourself how much damage, like, they're going to be taking and stuff like that. And just kind of just play back here with your soldier. Allow your soldier and your Sojourn to push this Sombra, okay? Then it might mean that if the Moira doesn't go back to go and help your Zarya, then you can quickly do a slingshot in and out to try and, like, help her. And just try and, like, keep her up. Because right now, this should be sending, like, warning symbols into your head. Like, we have nobody to heal frontline. Alright? That's fine. Just focus on pushing main as soon as she's gone. Nice. I'd rotate. I wouldn't super jump up into the air there. I would just rotate with, like, a slingshot around to the cover. Valk here. Valk here. You want to Valk here. Valk. Okay, we should have Valked here. Right? The reasoning is because, so obviously we started pushing up main here now, which is fine. We rotate, which is, like, really, really nice. That should have been rotation just around the back though. Really nice helping your soldier, okay? Now Valk. The reason is because you've just got rid of this what's called this Sombra. She's gonna, like, translocate away. This now means this is now a 4v5 for your team, okay? You want to basically confirmed this fight. Your Zarya's also got her grab. You can apply this blue beam really far back, like around here, for example, and allow her to damage boost and just basically rip through whoever's in this grab. Okay, because whoever's in this grab, they're pretty much like not gonna survive unless the Zen had trance, which he hasn't like built up. You essentially just want to Valk and allow to have that progression. Aggression is the word I'm going for. What ends up happening is you go and heal your Moira, which is like completely fine. But then we should have like got our beam onto our what's called our Zarya and pushed in like really aggressively, because you end up like kind of, oh, like I don't really know what I'm gonna be doing, and you like kind of slingshot yourself back. You're like, what's it called? And you know that you can't trust your Moira. Like we've already established this, like we can't trust Moira. So we should essentially just, what's it called? Help your Zarya. Because you end up like basically allowing your Zarya to die here. But we'll keep on going. You see how we've helped this Valk? Like I don't think you've used this Valk throughout the entirety of your defense. We've used it now. But I feel as though we've just used it way too late. Like, it would have been so much better if we used it earlier. We got their support, so that's a free team fight for you. Like, free team fight for you guys. You would have been able to keep hold of the Sojourner. We would be able to keep hold of the Soldier as well. It would have been like a such like better scenario for you guys. But we'll keep on going. So, I don't know if your monkey's like, what's it called? I don't know if your monkey's throwing now or something. I don't know. Unless we got like bad spawn and couldn't get out. You just play your own like game. Nice peel for your Soldier. Really nice. Really nice. Just be careful, like keep an eye on your Sojourn while you're doing this, because remember, like your Moira's also here to help your Soldier now. So you also have to think, okay, how's my Sojourn doing? Especially because you can hear her being attacked by the Genji. So just make sure you're still like kind of looking onto her and trying to help her out. Nice. Nice damage boost. Let your Moira do her thing in the back line. Let her do her thing. I would literally, whenever a Moira goes in with like her coalescence, it just fades in. I would literally just, what's it called, just let her like do her own thing and you stay with the team. Because if you go in like you have done with her, okay, yeah, sure, it's got a kill, but she could have got that kill on her own, and then obviously they transit and stuff like that, right? And then you're now stuck out in like this weird kind of positioning here. I would have literally just stayed back and just damage boosted someone else, because what's going to happen is, instead of your tank making space, actually it's going to be your Moira making the space with like her ultimate and stuff like that. Going to be pushing everyone like really like back and stuff like that, and making everyone like, you know, like really weak and stuff with her coalescence. You can then just sit back and just damage with someone else to help follow up onto that damage. Alright, we'll keep going. Rotating back. Can't really do it for your monkey because they got Transcendence up. Sojourner is getting picked off. Rotate to health pack there. You can rotate to this big mega over here. So I would have done a slingshot over to the mega because it blocks off all the LOS, and it also allows you to kind of get that health up really quick. And then you can then rotate round back to here if you need to. Alright. Soldier's getting picked off. You're getting hacked. And we end up getting hacked off the map, which is really unfortunate. And I think we're going to lose in this one. Alright, so overall, HiSisters, alright. I liked your position for the majority of the time. We just have to play really like close to our cover a little bit more when we're playing against the Sombras, alright? Because what's gonna happen is Sombra's gonna try and like focus and hack you, but if you keep very close to them, like walls and stuff, and play very like close to them, and making sure you have somewhere to go when she hacks you, it's gonna be so much better off for you. Obviously, there are gonna be certain points where she just gets a hack on you and it's just better, which will happen, you know. But it's just try to like play that cover a little bit more as much as you can. Reses were good, obviously, apart from the one that got cancelled. I feel as though they were okay. We just need to, what's it called, just need to kind of tilt our like priority sometimes with like maybe trying to help out your team, make sure your team is stable before you go and like go for the res. Your biggest thing is your Valks. You hold on to Valk for like dear life. You're like, I need to keep hold of it. I need to like, and I feel as though like you've missed so many good opportunities, and then you use them when you have chance to build up another one, right? So I just want you to not be afraid to use Valk, and whenever you think to yourself, we need to use this, just use it, okay? Because it can really help kind of turn those team fights and help really enable your team, okay? But apart from that, like, overall, it was a really good match from you, to be fair. I feel as though this isn't, like, your fault. Like, it would have been, I feel as though your team kind of just, like, lost their mental a bit when they got, like, past, like, second point and stuff like that. Which is really unfortunate because, you know, that happens sometimes. But overall, like, a really strong VOD, HiSisters. Just really work on using your Valk more and don't hold on to it as much as you are, alright? But please let me know if you have any more questions. Once again, thank you so much to everyone on Twitch as well as on YouTube who've been watching this. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, you can get your own VOD views to go for 5,000 channel points. I do them on Mondays on my Twitch, but I also stream on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays too, where you guys can, see my own gameplay and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later.